8 is Enough was an American TV series that ran for 5 seasons on ABC, starting in 1977. Based on the memoirs of newspaper columnist Tom Braden, the show followed the story of a family with 8 children. In this video, we'll be examining the life of the actress who played the third oldest of these children, Laurie Walters. Join FactsVerse as we attempt to uncover what happened to Laurie Walters, Joanie Bradford from 8 is Enough. Laurie Walters was born on January 8, 1947. She was born in San Francisco, California, which was the perfect birthplace for the young star to dream of starting an acting career. She took on an affinity for acting at an early age and pursued a career in it as soon as she graduated high school. One of her earliest notable roles was in the film The Harrad Experiment, which also featured the popular actress Tippi Hedren. The film was a coming-of-age story that revolved around students of the fictional Harrad College as they experimented with their sexuality. As one might expect, the film was a direct product of the sexual revolution and the concept of free love that had been born out of the 60s. She was also featured in that film's follow-up, 1974's Harrad Summer. Another early big break for Laurie came in the form of the 1973 horror film Warlock Moon. That low-budget film saw Laurie taking on the starring role, and the attention she received led to her getting some noticeable TV roles. These included stints on TV shows such as Happy Days, The Rookies, and Canon. However, her most prominent role was in 1977's 8 is Enough. While Laurie's early roles had given her a chance to experiment, her role in 8 is Enough promised her the chance to truly be seen. The show was based off a book written by newspaper columnist Tom Braden. The book detailed the true story of Braden and his wife as they attempted to raise their 8 children. Dick Van Patten was cast as the father, whose name in the sitcom was changed to Tom Bradford. He was portrayed as having a job at a fictional newspaper called the Sacramento Register, hearkening back to the profession of the show's real-life inspiration. The Bradford family lived in Sacramento, California, and it consisted of Tom, his wife, and their 8 children. The names of the children, in descending order from oldest to youngest, were David, Mary, Joanie, Susan, Nancy, Elizabeth, Tommy, and Nicholas. Of course, Laurie was hired to play the part of Joanie Bradford, the third oldest. The show had a solid backbone and concept revolving around the husband and wife team navigating the difficult task of raising 8 kids. However, fate quickly threw a wrench into the works. Actress Diana Hyland had been cast to play Tom's wife, Joan. Only a couple of episodes into filming, Hyland sadly passed away as the result of a breast cancer diagnosis. The show went on without her. The character of Joan was written off of the show, and Tom was eventually given a new love interest in the form of a schoolteacher who came over to tutor one of the kids. There were several made-for-TV movies centering around the show, and the first one saw Tom and his new love interest getting married. However, the true stars of the show were inarguably the 8 children. Among them stood Laurie Walters as Joanie, giving the performance her all. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to FactsVerse if you haven't already. 8 is Enough went on to become a fairly huge hit with audiences, thanks in no small part to the show's unique tone. Given its real-life inspiration, the show took a somewhat realistic look at family life that was nestled halfway between a typical TV comedy sitcom and a more mature drama. It was an early pioneer of the genre that would be called dramedy. As well, the show was largely aided by a fantastic ensemble cast. All 8 of the Bradford children were brought to life by incredible performances, including by Laurie Walters. Although Laurie certainly gave the performance her all, she considered her role on the show somewhat of a mixed blessing. While it did give her more exposure as an actress, she began to feel her time on the screen was being cut short to make way for her on-screen siblings. More troubling to Laurie, however, was the realization that most of the men on the production were getting paid more than the women, and this was regardless of their creative input. When Laurie learned about this, she began rallying the other women on set to band together and ask for a pay increase. According to her, she thought the women ought to join forces and negotiate together. While Laurie's heart was surely in the right place, she eventually stopped pursuing this matter out of fear her character might end up being written off the show. The production team had already showed they were willing to move on from the loss of a major actress, and Laurie wasn't prepared to take that risk. Although she had qualms with her position on the show, she felt she'd be better off there than trying to find roles somewhere else. In the end, she felt the exposure she was gaining from the show could potentially pay off in better roles later on. However, this didn't exactly turn out to be the case. Although Laurie Walters appears to have few regrets, she never got a role quite as prominent as the one she played on 8 is Enough. 8 is Enough came to an end after its 5th season in 1981. Laurie returned to reprise her roles twice in 2 made-for-TV movies that served as reunions. One of these films came out in '87 and the other followed in '89. The show continued to be popular in syndicated reruns, although Laurie's career in Hollywood never quite took off after its end. She went on to make minor appearances in some other TV shows over the following years, including Columbo, Cheers, Highway to Heaven, and Fantasy Island. Eventually, the best roles the actress could get were in Southern California dinner theater productions. In 1999, Laurie moved on from acting and took on new passions. One of these was environmentalism, and the other passion was her new husband, John Slade. John Slade was a fellow actor, as well as a teacher and musician. To the public, he was perhaps best known for small roles in films such as LA Confidential. After the two got married, Walters found work coordinating the volunteer program for the LA organization known as Tree People. As the name might suggest, the role of this organization was to promote the growth of trees in the Los Angeles area. Laurie remained happily married to John Slade for nearly 2 decades, until his tragic death at the hands of a drunk driver in 2017. He was killed while driving home from the California Lutheran University, where he had been passionately directing a production of Shakespeare's The Tragedy of Julius Caesar. Laurie and John had multiple sons who were devastated at the loss of their father. Today, Laurie can still be sometimes caught acting in small theater productions around Southern Cal. However, her biggest current passion remains her environmental work, as well as her more recent role as real-life grandmother to her son Max's children. While Joanie Bradford wasn't always the focal point of 8 is Enough, the character certainly had her fair share of memorable moments. Comment down below to share your favorite Joanie Bradford moment from the show, or if you think Laurie Walters deserved more recognition after the dramedy came to an end. And, as always, before you move on, hit the like button to show your support, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.